This segment is sponsored by AJ Fernandez Cigars. The San Latano line of cigars has been one of the most talked about cigars in recent years, and now they offer a groundbreaking line extension, the San Latano Bull. The San Latano Bull features an extensively aged and hardy core of Nicaraguan long fillers are nestled beneath an attractive Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. Housed in a cedar sleeve which depicts the outline of a bull only solidifies this cigar as a full-flavored cigar. Removing the sleeve reveals a box-pressed cigar with a beautiful oily and smooth chocolate brown wrapper. The San Latano Bull burns nice and neat as it issues columns of smoke while it hits you with a wall of spice followed by leather and cedar. This densely packed cigar intensifies in deep, rich flavors and becomes a flavor bomb halfway through. It only gets better with each passing draw. Strong, yet smooth and perfectly balanced, AJ Fernandez, who have called a tobacco prodigy, has somehow pushed the already spectacular San Latano line of cigars forward with the Bull. AJ Fernandez challenged you to take on the Bull. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. That's right, we're going to talk about our Stogies of the week. What else we've been smoking this week, Will? What you got on your list?
Well, I'm going to kick it off, Paul, with a kind of a Stogie Geek's favorite that we just haven't talked about in a while, and it's Paul Garmerian. Yeah, and I just think, I was kind of just going through, we haven't really talked to Paul Garmerian in a while, and I had this 15th anniversary Robusto that I believe you sent me a while ago that's been just kind of eyeballing me in the humidor waiting for the right time to smoke it. I don't know, folks, just so folks who don't know about Paul Garmerian, and this is a line I know it's been talked about extensively on the show. He has been around for over 20 years, and he has worked with Henke Kellner and Eladio Diaz down in Davidoff, and he makes some really good cigars. The 15th anniversary line came out about, I think it was 2005, obviously for the company's 15th anniversary. Nicaraguan wrapper with Dominican binder and filler, and I smoked the 5x52 Robusto, which was kind of a nice size for it. I had not smoked a 15-year anniversary in this size before, so, and I haven't smoked a lot of Paul Garmerians until I really started meeting up with you guys. I thought it was a great cigar. It's not a revolutionary profile. You're not going to get this radically different tasting cigar. But it just fires on all cylinders. Great natural tobacco flavors, nice sweet cedar notes, a little bit of pepper. There's a creamy undertone throughout this whole cigar, so it's really smooth. It's got just the right amount of strength in terms of, it's like a medium to full in terms of strength and body. Paul Garmerian cigars are a little expensive, so if folks haven't seen them, they tend to go, I'd say, most of the good ones are above $12. This is a $14 cigar, but in my book, it was a box-worthy cigar. I really enjoyed this cigar.
Now, Will, this cigar has a ridiculous amount of age on it, actually.
It was, I tell you what, that's a good point, because, yeah, it was... You
could tell, right, that this cigar
my goodness, it was not a sign of youngness, and it was still smoking great. So it hadn't it hadn't past its peak, which is good.
Yeah, his cigars tend to age very well.
Oh, yeah.
I have a bunch of these Robustos and the Bellicoso in this blend, and I like smoking them. It's very different. You get a lot of that nice, sweet aged tobacco that presents a lot of different flavors. So I'm glad you enjoyed this one. I actually got these on a closeout special at Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop.
You mean there's no more of them? Because I was kind of going to say I was looking forward to kind of getting some.
No, there's no more of those. I may have some in my humidor. We can talk after the show.
We'll have to make a deal. Yeah. It was a good. Really, I mean, if Stogie Geeks haven't checked out Paul Garmerian, I know we have a lot of new listeners and viewers. Give this line a check out. There's some really good cigars on here.
Have you tried his Bellicose Maduro?
I have not.
From Paul Garmerian?
Yeah,
I didn't know he made Maduro.
That's my number one cigar. I will smoke that. I mean, it's not a cheap cigar, but I will smoke a box.
That's not his Passion series, right? That you're talking to.
No, it's one of his earlier lines.
Okay.
And it's just a straight Maduro, and he's got a Bellicoso Maduro, and that's all my friends. They're like, they know that's what I would love to have.
Really?
More than anything else.
I'm gonna have to seek some of those out.
I have seen them. I have seen the Maduros. I think they're up in Greensboro. So if I get up there, I'll see if they have them.
Yeah, I've never had the Maduro from Paul Garmerian.
Oh, delicious.
I've always had a natural.
If you can get them, delicious.
Will, have you tried the new Ashton Symmetry?
I actually did today as well.
Yeah. So this is a higher price tag. Could you tell us a little bit about those? I have not researched this cigar yet, Will. I know that it's new from Ashton, and Ashton doesn't come out with a lot of new releases like this very often. So I was anxious to try it, but I haven't had time to research it. So, Will, I'm hoping you can kind of fill us in. I hate to put you on the spot like that.
No, not at all, not at all.
I know you're the cigar encyclopedia, so.
So the key thing about this cigar is it's the first new brand under Ashton in quite a while. I think it's basically since the ESG was the last new brand under Ashton. So, I mean, there's brands like San Cristobal and La Roma de Cuba,
Yeah.
but this is branded Ashton, which is meaning it's coming from the Dominican, it's coming from Fuente. The key thing about this cigar is that it is incorporating Nicaraguan tobaccos into the filler, which is a first, again, under the Ashton brand. So it's an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with a Dominican binder and fillers from the Dominican and Nicaragua. It's funny because I actually smoked the Prestige, which was the 6 3/4 by 49 today, and I had it for the first time as well.
So I thought this was a medium full profile. It definitely starts out medium with kind of like a woody kind of cedar undertone, nice medium body. It picks up in strength as it gets into the second half. I thought this probably could have used a little bit of dry boxing, and I'll talk about that with some other cigars that I smoked. I kind of, smoked this kind of fresh. I thought this cigar was very, very good. I think it has some potential. I think it needs to sit for a couple of weeks probably before I try it again. It carries a pretty high price tag, but I think this is going to age well and command that price tag. And I was really impressed with this offering from Ashton.
Here's the thing. I smoked that kind of, I want to say it's almost that Churchill size. And I thought it took a little while to get going with the flavors.
Yeah, not in this, this is almost like a Corona, maybe 6x48 kind of size that I smoked.
Yeah, I got some nice sweetness off that cigar too, but I agree with you how that thing intensified as it went along. And I agree that it can probably, again, these came off the truck at the shop I was at today. So, put those two things together, I'm right in agreement. I think it's going to be fine, this cigar.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think this is necessarily box worthy, especially commanding that price tag. I think it's more of a, maybe a box split. I think you're going to have to. It's one thing that I struggle with these cigars that carry, the $15 plus price tag, and the manufacturers release them in 4 different sizes. So to find the size that I want, I'm $60 in. If they got 4 sizes to find the size that I want. So the blend really has to impress me, and I think this one was almost there.
Yeah, it's I didn't rate it because I was smoking it, and I really was just kind of having a conversation with some folks, and I happened to just want to try it. But I would kind of agree with you. The price point, I think, is a little lower down here. I think I paid like $12 for my size down here. But it's definitely a cigar I'd go back and smoke again.
Mm-hmm. Back to you, Will.
Okay. Just lost my. I apologize. I just lost my my Stogie. Can you do another one, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. I smoked
Okay.
a 113 Maduro. I smoked it in the Lonsdale size. Now I smoked the natural last week. This week I started with the Maduro. This is a 6x42. Great size cigar. And I tell you what, this dark Maduro wrapper, I mean, it just pours smoke. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It even says that in their marketing, produces a rich, thick smoke. It's not very often that some of the marketing, really exemplifies the cigar. Like, marketing is marketing. I work in marketing, so I know that marketing likes to, I use the term embellish, right? When they say rich, thick smoke, they're not embellishing. I mean, that's what this cigar produces. It's got a really nice flavor to it. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, and I thought for a Nicaraguan Puro, it had some kind of non-traditional flavors to it. It wasn't your typical Nicaraguan Puro kind of flavor profile to this one, Will. I thought it was very smooth. I had a little bit of a void kind of in the middle, which detracted a little bit, but when these things are smoking good, I think that this is a fantastic blend. I'm going to rate this one a 5. I really like this size. I've smoked some of the other sizes in this blend. I like that Lonsdale size a lot. Now, I sent you some of these as well, Will, right?
Yep, I
Okay.
have them. I did not light it up, but I've had the Maduro in the 113 before, and it definitely. I know we smoked it on the show, and it definitely needed some time.
Yeah. No,
When I
these
had
these
it.
seem like they've had a little more time, and it definitely smoothed out, and a lot more of those nice, rich flavors are coming through in the cigar. So.
Yeah, and Phil Zengi talked a lot about from Debonair talked a lot about how those when Maduros often really need to sit to start getting that sweetness out, some more than a natural. He was saying. So
Oh yeah, and I will talk about that in one of my cigars that I got coming up. That I feel like my review of the cigar is much more positive than the feedback that I got from some of the local community about this cigar, and I think I liked it way more than anyone else. And that's
I know which one. I know which one you're talking
you know exactly
about.
what I'm talking about, right? And that's because of what I.
Because I think I was
yeah.
just with someone from that company today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Back to you, Will. Unless you need me to go.
Okay.
There.
Yep, I'm all set.
Okay.
I smoked this. This just came into my local shop, Union Cigar Company. They brought in earlier this year. They brought Hammer and Sickle in, which has been a huge hit actually.
We were just
at my
talking about
local
that
shop.
the other day. I've never had a hammer and sickle because there's no local shops around here that carry them.
Please remind me to bring you one. Okay.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So, and I tell you what, Hammer and Sickle, I'm going to admit I had a negative connotation with them at first because of the name, but really what I discovered is it's not anything Soviet.
That's what I thought when I heard the name too.
Yeah, it's not. And they're really doing some good cigars. They have they work with Davidoff as well. So it's another company that Davidoff's doing blending for them. And I smoked something called this is a brand new cigar that just got released. It's in the Berlin Wall series called the Celebration Corona. So the Celebration Corona is a line extension to Berlin Wall, which is a Honduran Puro featuring a Criollo wrapper. It's a 4 3/4 by 46 size of this cigar, and they released this limited because of the Berlin. It's the 25th anniversary of the Berlin Wall getting torn down next week or this weekend, I believe it is. And I should know the date. I think it's November 8th and November 9th, and I apologize for not knowing the date there. But so I like the fact it was in a Corona. Now the thing is, Hammer and Sickle, their packaging is awesome. This Berlin Wall normally comes in this beautiful marble box. However, the Coronas came in bundles. They didn't put them in the marble boxes, which I was kind of bummed about. But at the same time, it kept the price around $5. So it's a real nice value cigar. Great cigar. I've smoked Berlin Wall before, and this by far was the best size of the Berlin Wall I've had. It starts out with some pepper notes, some earth, and it almost has this prune-like sweetness, which I don't mean as a negative, but it worked well in a blend with tobacco. The sweetness got, towards the middle, the sweetness got really sweet, and it almost got a little bit like berry-like. Again, still keep into the earthy and the natural tobacco tones, and then it kind of, again, dialed back to the prune sweetness on the last third. Again, it was just like with that Paul Gamerian. There was a smoothness in the cigar the whole way through. It's a cigar that I'd say is medium to full in terms of body, and its strength is in the medium to medium plus range. It's bellet to ball material in my book with the Berlin Wall. It's I've smoked the Berlin Walls, but by far the Coronas I've smoked have been real good. I have this as a box split.
Nice.
Yep.
This next cigar, sorry,
Go
well,
go ahead.
the next cigar I smoked was from Arturo Fuente, which we talk a lot about on the show. I'll mention another cigar from them as well, a very special one, as they make a lot of very special cigars, but their regular lines are, certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Like they make some really, really good cigars. I'm a huge fan of the Don Carlos line of cigars. I love the Cameroon wrapper. We did a segment on Cameroon wrappers. People love that segment, and I love Cameroon wrap cigars. And this is a Fuente Don Carlos number 4. It's kind of like a mini Bellicoso.
Right.
Is this always been a regular production Don Carlos, Will, or is this a newer size?
I'm not sure.
I remember the 3s from many years ago. I don't
Yeah,
That's what I
this
remember
is a number 4. It actually just came in to some of the local shops here, and I don't know if it's a new size or something that just hasn't been released or available in a while. A fantastic little cigar. It could use some age. I find this blend ages very well, and these are pretty fresh. So I thought some of the flavors were a little sharp, a little unbalanced, but it's that awesome Don Carlos kind of sweetness, that nice little bit of cedar notes to it. This, to me, if you age this for like 6 months, say, it makes a perfect kind of breakfast cigar to pair in the morning with coffee.
Oh, sounds brilliant.
I find that Don Carlos blend, you put a little age on that, you pair it with coffee in the morning, it's just a magical combination.
Oh, nice.
So this was a really good cigar. This smaller size kind of amped it up a little bit in strength. I find the larger ring gauges tend to be a little milder in the strength department. The Don Carlos number 4 kind of amps it up a little bit. Really, really love this blend.
Are they still relatively rare to find at stores?
Don Carlos is a regular production blend. You can find it in numerous different sizes. I think all the sizes carry a number, right, Will, in the Don Carlos series?
Yeah.
I tell you what, Stogie Santa had a box, and I talked about this on the show, of the Bellicoso, which is a number 2. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 that was 4 or 5 years old. Oh my God. Those were just awesome.
I remember back in the 90s, the number 3 was really sought after, and the fantastic cigars.
They do a great job with it. I mean, that Cameroon wrapper is hard to get.
Okay.
Which may be some of the production issues with this smoke, but they've just blended something spectacular. And it carries a pretty high price tag, too. Like amongst your other kind of regular production cigars, I mean, it's kind of up there in price. If you can find these on special, closer to get some kind of, discount on them.
What's the price range on them now?
I'm not sure what the...
Okay.
We can look up what that is. Let's look that up.
Above the $10 range?
It depends on what size that you're getting. Let me bring this up. It's a blend worth talking about. Yeah, number 2 is a Bellicoso. It's a 6x54. You can get 5 of them for $56, so $60 with shipping online.
Okay.
So
not terrible.
That's not terrible. That's not terrible.
Especially for the quality that it normally is.
Yeah. So this Bellicoso number 4 is a 5.1 by 43. Great size.
Oh, nice.
Great size. You can get a 5-pack for $36.50 plus shipping online.
Oh, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
No.
So maybe they've come down. I don't know if they've come down in price. I always thought as Don Carlos is be a little bit overpriced. It's kind of what Stogie Santa always kind of hinted towards was it's really good, but for the experience you get, it's a little overpriced. I don't know. I think he's kind of spot on with that. They make a Churchill or a Busto, another regular Bellicoso. Great blend. Great blend. I think, if you're a beginning smoker, if you're just getting into it, or even if you're a Stogie geek, you're going to really like this blend.
Okay.
I agree.
One of the better Cameroon wrap cigars on the market today. Back to you, Will.
I smoked the 1907 Dunhill Robusto. This was a different kind of. So this was a little different in how I smoked this, and I did this as part of a review with the folks from Blind Man's Puff. I met these guys. They are.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about this. This sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, and we're gonna have them on the show.
Oh,
because
good.
I was so impressed with their process. They're a site that I don't want to say they're dedicated to blind unbanded reviews, but they do a lot of them, and they have a sophisticated process that they go through with this. In terms of they have a guy who sends out the cigars. He takes the bands off. They have a regular team, and then they invite guests, so that's how I've gotten in. And then they have an intricate scoring system. And I did not know what this cigar was until the review was published yesterday. So I really had no clue what I was smoking.
You were kind of chomping at the bit to figure out what the cigar was.
Oh, my God. And here's the thing. It wasn't one of my favorite cigars I've had. But I was so worried. Man, imagine if this is something I just scored like Chuck Norris or something, right? Is all I kept thinking. So the 1907 Dunhill, I've smoked it before, and I can't say it was a memorable smoke. So I've smoked a few of them. It's not a bad smoke. It's a try one, is what I had. It's Dunhill introduced it this year. It's a little more amped up than those milder Dunhills, so it's more of a medium. It's Honduran wrapper from Dominican Allure binder, and Brazilian Matafina and Dominican Lajero is in a filler, and I smoked a 5x52. So I mentioned, there's a link in the Stogie feed to the blind review. They have, like I said, a real cool system for how they do it. So definitely, I encourage you to check out the folks from Blind Man's Puff. They do a lot of content. But as for the cigar itself, I thought it was a simple cigar. It didn't have a lot in the way of complexity. Didn't undergo a lot of radical flavor transitions. It had a very earthy profile with some pepper and cocoa. It did nothing really to make this stand out. It wasn't a bad cigar. The flavors this time around, for whatever reason, they actually seemed more medium plus. So I don't know if it was just this cigar, or if it was just my time of the day when I smoked it. It seemed like this had a little more body than I remembered the 1907 Dunhill having. It's a nice cigar to try. It didn't have me doing handstands, but give it a shot and see. It wasn't bad, but I probably scored it the lowest of everyone else on the blind review. So
the Dunhill is a brand that's been around for a really long time, dating back to the original Cuban brand.
Yes, and there's actually a real rich history with that brand. Now it's being distributed by General, and they've seen in the last year they're starting to give this line a push. Mm-hmm. This was Dunhill was front and center, one of the brands at the General booth this year at IPCPR. That's
interesting. I don't think I've ever smoked a
signed range, so they've done some things. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever smoked a Dunhill. To be honest with you.
You would, I think, like some of their aged, the Dunhill aged. I think you would really like those cigars.
Is that one of their lines?
Yeah, it's a Dunhill aged, and then they have a couple of Dunhill limited edition aged. It's Connecticut shade. Mm-hmm. I believe it's U.S. Connecticut shade. They're really some good morning smokes in that Dunhill line.
Yeah, they're very mild, right?
They're very mild. Like I said, this one they were trying to. It was one of those cases where I think they were trying to do a different type of cigar than what Dunhill was known for, and I agree, it's very different. It's got more body and a little more strength than most Dunhills.
Mm. Interesting.
But I'll have a few more blind reviews coming up from them as well, and then we'll have them on the show in January, and we'll put them through a blind review. So
awesome. I finished my Fratello Corona. I love that cigar. I really do. And my review of that cigar is somewhat tainted because I love Omar. He's the man. But that cigar is very, very good. He did a nice job. That Corona size, I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, you have to try it. My rating on that cigar, as that blend ages a little bit, is box worthy. Will.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how many Fratello Coronas you've smoked, but
I would have it maybe box split in my book, but it's the belle of the ball of the line. Mm-hmm. For sure. I remember when we had Omar on the first time, I couldn't get the Coronas, and we ended up smoking a Toro, which is a very, very good cigar.
Yep.
But it's not the Corona.
Yep. I tell you what, it paired very well with that Fratello coffee. Now we've got a second round of this Fratello coffee.
Second round, yes.
The second round. You weren't happy with the first round.
I wasn't too happy with it.
You thought it was kind of thin.
A little bit thin, I thought.
Yeah, this one's got a little more body to it.
Oh, good.
And I'm really liking the flavors.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm liking it more too.
It has almost kind of like, to me, an earthy kind of profile to it.
Yeah, we're trying to incorporate the flavors of the coffees to complement the flavors of the cigar. So especially with that the Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, mm-hmm. To try to make nice.
Yeah, it went very well together. Now I've lit up the a J Grotto Anniversary Series cigar. This is the Perfecto that we smoked with Paul Joyle. There's something to be said too. When you smoke the cigar with the person who put their heart and soul behind blending it, there's something that you make a connection with the person, you make a connection with the cigar. These cigars are very good. I purchased a box from Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop.
Now they're based here, right, Jay Grotto?
They're right down the street.
Okay,
they're not far from here.
I haven't tried their cigar yet. So I definitely want to try some while I'm here.
Yeah, if you got some time tomorrow, we'll get to the address.
All right, excellent.
Definitely swing by there.
He's got some good lines.
He does. So he has his own line of cigars. They also just got some Opus X cigars in. We got a notification today. They got quite a few sizes. I think he said 6 different sizes of Opus X cigars that he got in just yesterday or today.
Do they have a box limitation?
They're limiting 5 per customer.
5 boxes. Excellent.
No, wait. Jay, you and I would get along, right? Because that's how I buy Opus, right? Yeah, and a lot of their limited stuff. And they also do a monthly. Is it monthly? Will their Monday nights are monthly?
Yeah, and they're doing, I believe, they do it monthly now. They mentioned there's a special event coming on Monday, December 8th. Right, there is a cigar dinner with Broadway Cigars at the Trattoria Roma on Providence's famous Federal Hill, and for $50, it's a cigar dinner, and you get a 4-course meal and all 4 of the Grotto series cigars.
Oh, that sounds great.
That sounds like a really good deal.
Yeah, their Monday night cigar tastings are really good. They bring in a different cigar manufacturer for everyone. And this one is Paul's own cigar, which is certainly not to be missed. His new anniversary series, I love it in this Perfecto size is my belle of the ball.
Okay.
I think a lot of people agree with me because when I bought this one 2 weeks ago, I bought the last box in the store from the original run, and I was thankful that I got a box from the original run because I wanted one of the first boxes. So,
have you noticed any changes between the original run and the subsequent runs?
Well, I smoked some of the pre-releases, and I'm smoking through this box as well. So this box doesn't have some of the age that some of the pre-releases had on it. So, but this box is going to age tremendously. And in fact, this one that I've lit up, even with just a couple of weeks, I'm noticing a difference. From the original run as well. So cigars need time to age,
Absolutely.
That's one of the parallels I don't think it makes to coffee, right? Coffee doesn't need time to age, does it?
I think, well...
It's a much shorter aging period.
It can be a shorter aging period. I mean, we do some experimentation with, like, very long age coffees.
Yeah.
Like, we have some lots of coffee that are from 2007 that are definitely different now than they were, but they're still quite enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, a lot of the coffees may not necessarily be a great thing to age.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Will, my next smoke is this is my pick of the week. And like I said, there's a lot of people that gave me feedback on this cigar, and I didn't believe them because it comes from Ernesto Perez Carrillo, EPC. A huge fan of all their cigars, for sure. And this is the La Historia, recently released. And I have to say, one of the things that stands out for me, kind of not related to the flavor profile of the cigar, is the packaging. They come in boxes of 10. It's a beautiful box. The bands are absolutely gorgeous. It has this gorgeous, bright, kind of blue-colored footband that contrasts that dark-colored wrapper. I mean, the packaging is just beautiful. Now, with this dark Maduro wrapper, as we've said, I find that it needs some time to kind of age or dry out a little bit because that darker Maduros come out a little wet. So what I did was I did I took the cellophane off and I kind of did the sniff test, and I was like, wow, that smells like it kind of needs to air out. Similar to like coffee, like it just needs to breathe and kind of air out. Tobacco is very similar, I think, to coffee in that sense. So I took the cellophane off and I put it in my travel humidor, which has a bead system in it, which will absorb excess humidity and emit humidity. And now when it's really dry, it's probably doing more emitting than anything else. We've had some pretty dry weather here recently. So I let this sit for quite a few days in my travel humidor, Will, and then I smoked it, and it was awesome. I mean, it was a great medium full cigar, had awesome flavors, great transition, finished nice and strong. The flavors were just spot on. I found it to be very balanced for something that just came out, especially. And I'm rating it box width. For boxes of 10, I think he hit a home run with this cigar, Will.
Oh, nice.
I felt that this was a cigar that it needed time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be, and I'm seeing, when I had it at the show, I thought it was a little young. I've had some, and they were better. I just think it needed a little time, and I think that's a little TLC with these cigars, and a little, maybe a little dry boxing with that it's a San Andreas wrapper on there, but I was actually very, very surprised for San Andreas box press. It wasn't pungent. It was actually pretty smooth. I thought there was some really good flavors on it as well. So I know there's been some mixed feedback on it too, but I'm thinking positive with that cigar.
Yeah.
I remember East Stunner. Well, it's a completely different blend. The East Stunner needed some time.
Yeah. This could benefit from some time, but I'm saying it was box. When I smoked it, it was box worthy.
You look at boxes. That cigar goes for about $8 a stick around, right?
This was the Robusto size that I smoked.
Yeah, I mean these are not expensive cigars, and that packaging. I mean, you can't. It's beautiful. The box is a keepsake, in my opinion. It's a really nice box, and it's a 10-count box, right?
It is a 10-count box.
Yeah, so you're not breaking the bank with it either.
Oh, $80. That's not bad.
Yep.
Are you guys finding that somewhat more common now with cigars that need time to balance out after being opened?
Yeah, I think that a lot of manufacturers are kind of in a race to get out new cigars because that's the trend right now. Get new cigars out.
Right.
Because everyone else
new
when they walk in
releases
the
all the
shop,
time.
yeah, what's new? And I think that they're releasing cigars that definitely benefit from some age. Now, on the flip side of that, I'll talk about another cigar that I put some more age on. It was a totally different cigar.
Okay.
So some cigars age better than others, and I don't think there's a magic formula for that. But this La Historia I thought was very, very good. I think it has some great aging potential, and certainly the cigars that you buy today, the ones that stand out for me, like some of the ones that just come out and smoke good, means that manufacturer did the proper amount of aging on them.
Right.
But some cigars need a little bit of age, and I don't rate a cigar negatively for that. I'll wait to smoke it again. I'll give it a couple of months or a couple of weeks even and go back and revisit that. You can tell when you smoke a cigar that, well, it needs a little time, but you can also kind of gauge where that cigar is going to be in a couple of weeks, a couple of months as you kind of develop your palate. So, yeah, it's a great question.
Well, I was wondering, because this summer I was in Colorado, and I went to this cigar shop that had Pete's the jar release.
Oh, yeah.
And so it had been open. And
I was thinking that, too.
I smoked one, and fantastic.
Yep.
So I had a jar at home, went home, tore open into it because I was so excited, tore open the foil packaging, but it just wasn't the same.
Interesting. See, I thought those smoked great right out of the gate.
What happened was I waited like a few weeks, smoked it again.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's like
fantastic.
They needed time to kind of
I just wondering if that's something you're seeing more of, or
no, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't find that with that. Maybe it's because I don't know. When we get some of the initial foil packages of that jar release, like before they were in the jar, and I smoked them fresh and they were awesome, and I smoked them from the jar and they were awesome. That cigar continues to be awesome for me. I probably have almost 2 jars in my humidor. And I'm not parting with any of them. There are some people that are like, I may sell one of my jars. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not. I'm keeping all those. It's one of my favorite cigars of all time.
Oh, agreed. I'm already in danger of finishing my jar.
Yeah, they're very smokable.
Oh
right?
My gosh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
You know, and we talked to the other thing you just mentioned, Jay. Another point is in the summer, right? When it comes to certain cigars, I mean, when that humidity hits, it wreaks havoc, especially with Maduros and Connecticut broadleaf, where it just sucks it up like a sponge. And I'm at a point when I get Maduros in the summer, I dry box them and I don't smoke them right off the truck anymore because I've had so many issues with the humidity with that.
Could you tell me something a little bit more, this dry boxing? I've heard people talking about it online, but I don't really understand. Are you just taking it out and putting it in an empty box? Is that really... That's it?
I tend to put mine in a travel humidor that has very minimal humidification in it.
Me too.
Yeah. I think if you get a cigar that maybe has been rolled fairly recently, and you take that and you put it into a humidor that's 70 degrees and 70% humidity, it can't really like kind of breathe and dry out in that environment. So you want to take it and get that humidity down a little bit for that cigar, and let some of that humidity kind of breathe off that cigar, and then it tends to smoke much better.
Okay. Now, so it's interesting because I met this guy. I don't know if you know Gerard in Switzerland.
Mm-mm.
He runs this the cigar shop out there, and he's very much into what we would think is wet cigars. I mean, his cigars are very pliable, very oily, very silky.
Mm-hmm.
But he really loves it at that point. And
yeah, and some of it is preference as well.
okay.
Yeah. And it could have been the case with your jar release. It may have just been a preference.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Nothing that was wrong with it, but it could be how your palate hit it.
Okay, very good.
Will, back to you.
So this was this cigar. This is a cigar I'm pretty high on. The Illusione Fume d'Amore. This is Dion's new line that he launched at the show. It's a line of Nicaraguan puros. And the interesting thing about this is he's not incorporating any Ligero into this blend. So what he said is that basically he's gotten a hold of some tobacco that really was exposed to quite a bit of sun, and he was able to leverage some of these lower primings that he felt were going to turn into a very flavorful blend. So it's all Viso and Seco in this. I was expecting something that was going to be more Epernay-like. You know, Epernay is his milder offering. What I found this cigar is I found it somewhere between the Epernay and the original Documents line. So I think it's somewhere in between there. I'd say it's more of a medium. But I thought the flavors were unbelievable on this cigar. I smoked the Churchill size 6.5 by 48. So it's kind of a short Churchill, maybe. Great flavors, and this is where I got some really unique flavors. I got a toasted marshmallow sweetness that I thought was really what I got off that, which very different. A lot of nut flavors on this thing. Some nice pepper notes. Even a touch of caramel I got in the middle of it. So there was a nice sweetness. Construction was phenomenal on this thing. I mean, I have some pictures on Cigar Coop of the burn. I thought I thought this size was probably one of the better. I've had a few of the sizes, but this was my favorite size. And I had it as a box worthy on this. Now, I think Mark Jr. had smoked this. He wasn't quite as high on it as I was.
Yeah, I wasn't as big on this one as you were either, Will.
Now, what do you know? You remember what size you had? Because I think this short Churchill was a big difference.
I'll have to give the short Churchill. I don't think I smoked that size. So
yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying I did like the other sizes, but I've had the Robusto. But when I had this size, I don't want to say it was a belle of the ball yet, because I haven't had all the sizes, but I was impressed with this size.
Nice. I smoked a Casa Cuba Robusto. I think this blend's doing really, really well. This comes from Fuente. The Robusto is a relatively new addition. They keep adding different sizes to this line. It's got a nice toasty profile to it, very caramel kind of like. Good solid offering. It doesn't change up a lot. It's just a good solid smoke. I think it's a little overpriced. I think it's kind of one of their special lines, you know.
A little overpriced?
Yeah, and it carries a high price tag, and I don't think it quite commands that price tag for the cigar that it is. So.
Right.
I would say this is a fiver. I think you want to keep fiver in your humidor to kind of have something different every now and again. Will, you really like this blend.
I did, but I'll tell you what. When I remember when I smoked it, it was, and I thought it had more spice when I smoked it, but I think the spice has come down.
It has. Yep.
A lot. And I think it was. I know Stogies and I had a discussion. We thought this cigar needed some time on it. But I was impressed with it, and I thought that the blend had all the potential in the world as far as that goes. But I remember. I mean, did you get a lot of spice? You didn't get a lot of spice off this one?
No, it was smooth and had that kind of caramel, kind of toasty profile to it.
Yeah, because I smoked the 6x52.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I thought that this cigar was, I think I had it as I'm trying to just look what I had. I had it as a fiver as well at the time.
Okay.
But I think it got better. Is what I'll say.
Is that something that you can get at normal stores? I've only seen it at Casa Fuente.
Yeah,
in
it's
Vegas.
Casa Fuente. You're going to pay a really high price
Yeah, it
tag
was,
for
mine,
it.
my roast
Oh,
was
yeah.
17 when I was there for
yeah.
IPCPR.
They
Yeah.
rolled this out very slow. So they did
Yep.
kind of a limited release last year.
Okay.
And they're slowly rolling these out to the Fuente shops. And I think you still, don't quote me on this, but I still think you got to be a certain level Fuente account to get this cigar.
What's the price range they're supposed to be at a regular retailer then? Do you know?
I'm not even sure.
Okay.
I paid $10 for the Toro in Florida. I'm looking at my notes here.
Okay, so not terrible then.
Yeah, probably a little more up north. And in Maryland, you can definitely assume it's going to be more. Well, you have some bad cigar prices in Maryland.
We do have some heavy taxes there.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. I mean, I've seen it when I go there.
Will, back to you.
Okay. Actually, I smoked the La Polina Goldie Laguito. Oh boy, I'm gonna butcher that. Especial, the Lancero. So this was the new Goldie. So this is the third of the Goldies. They had done a Petite Lancero, which actually was my cigar of the year in 2012. They did a Toro in 2013, which I thought was unbelievable. It was probably one of the best line extensions I had. I had a lot of high hopes for this one, being the Lancero, a 7x40. It's got that Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with the Ecuadorian binder and a Nicaraguan and Dominican filler. They use a little bit of that high priming medio tiempo in the filler. Here's the deal: on its own, this Lancero is a very good cigar. It's got notes of wood, cream, black pepper, cedar, even a little bit of a butterscotch note I got off of it. When I compare this to those other two sizes, it really pales, because the Toro and the Petite Lancero were that. I mean, those are Oasis level smokes. This is more of a box split. For whatever reason, I just didn't think this blend worked in the 7x40 as well. So I mean, it's a hefty price tag of $16.50. It's still like I said, still a very good cigar. And if I could find these, I'd get them, because you can't find the Goldies and the Petite Lanceros or the Toros anymore. But I think if you were a big fan of those other two lines, and I've talked to a few people, and I think all of our consensus is good cigar, very good cigar, but not at that level the other two were.
Yep.
And I think Mark Jr. had agreed when because I know I looked at what he talked about this cigar.
I went back and smoked a Tatuaje TAA release from 2012. Very good cigar. Had those classic kind of like Pete Johnson, Nicaraguan flavors to it. Solid offering from Tatuaje. I was kind of expecting, a 2-year-old TAA release to be like really, really special.
Okay.
Wasn't quite there for me. I would probably rate this maybe a box split, as it's a pretty large box press cigar. Probably a 6x54, I think, of the size on that wheel. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was really good. It wasn't. I guess my expectations were like Oasis level, for this cigar. It's not quite there, but it's certainly nothing to put down in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As it was a really good cigar, and I really enjoyed smoking it. So
that was my favorite of the TAA releases by Pete. Was the 12, which was the second one.
It's classic.
They're all
Pete,
good.
man.
They're all
it's
good.
awesome.
I haven't smoked the 14 yet, but they're all good.
Will, do you have any more on your list, or?
I'm done.
Okay, so I want to talk about the Avo 2004 Legacy. This is very interesting because as I go through this Avo gift set, or the all of their limited releases, you've heard me talk about it in the past 2 shows now. I'm starting with the oldest, working my way up to the newest. Now I'm getting into 2004, and this is one that I've smoked fairly recently, and it's had the benefit of all that age from 2004.
Okay.
So like I smoked the 2004 in 2012, 2013. Really, really amazing cigar flavor-wise. Now I'm going back to this gift set, and I'm smoking the 2004 that they've reblended. And I'm realizing that it's just a different vintage of tobacco. Like the tobacco they're putting in this one is not from
that 2004.
From 2004, yeah.
Okay.
That's my guess. If someone from Ava wants to correct me on that, certainly they're the authority on it. This cigar was still very, very good. I really like this cigar. It had a lot more punch in terms of strength and body than the original ones. But the original ones with all that age on them were just so silky smooth and presented all those different flavors. And this cigar will be certainly, I think, be that in several years. But it's really fun to go smoke these and kind of see what they're like when they first came out. It's kind of what I think I'm experiencing. I think it was probably, Will, the 2002, that unbanded Perfecto that's my favorite so far. But you can find all my reviews on the Avo line of limited releases that I'm smoking from the new box that came out this year. You can find that on the Stogies feed. So
yeah, and I think that the consensus is that Avo 22 is the legendary one. Now the next one I think you're going to be smoking is the 6, and I'm real curious about that one.
That's the 80th, right? 80th
That's the 80th,
Bellicoso. And I've smoked several of those that were aged from the original 2001.
Okay.
I picked up a bunch at Mr. J Savannah that we fell over in the back or something, and I was like, I started smoking. I'm like, wow, those are really good. I love those. So now I'm curious to see what that next one does for me. So now I'm starting to get into the ones that I've smoked both vintages.
Nice.
I think that so far, Will, this Avo box is worth one box purchase. I mean, it's like 200 and change to get all of their limited releases. I'm really having fun with it. I think it's a good box purchase, especially if you smoked some of the original blends.
How does it compare to the 2005 LE?
I never smoked the 2005 LE.
Okay.
That's the one that I think everyone says is like awesome, right?
And it's not in there.
Oh, it's not
in there. They didn't have enough tobacco to remake it.
Yeah,
I see.
Hanky said it wasn't even that, too. He said he couldn't get the blend. So I think it was a tobacco issue. You're right.
Yep. One of the next ones I smoked was a La Flor Dominicana Membises? Membises? How do you say that, Will?
Membises.
I think you said it as close as I'm going to get it.
Yeah. It comes from this. There's a picture of the gift set on there. It comes from this gift set that came with 3 La Flor Dominicana cigars, a cutter, and a lighter. And it comes in this kind of like cardboard box, and it's a gift set. This one's ridiculously old. I mean, you can tell by the way the lighter looks. I don't think the lighter works because it's been sitting in a humidor for so long, like it's all rusted out. But the cigars are still good. The cigars are awesome, and especially this one has some very unique flavors to it. It's a somewhat mild cigar. It's got a very light wrapper to it. Great flavor profile. If you can find these older gift sets, definitely pick one up, as they're a lot of fun to smoke. The next one I smoked was from Fuente. This was a Julius Caesar shark size. Never seen a Julius Caesar in the shark size.
Yeah.
This has to be the first time they ever released a Julius Caesar in the shark size.
I believe so. This is the Toast Across America?
Toast Across America for 2014 comes with a Julius Caesar and an Opus X, right, in the shark size? Yes.
Yep.
This one, now some of this might be my fault, and these retail for about $50 to $65 each for 2 cigars. So very expensive. I clipped a little too much off this cigar. I was in a hurry, and I clipped a little too much off of it. And the draw was so loose that it detracted from the smoking experience. The flavors were good. I can't even rate it because I don't know if it's because I clipped too much off or is the construction. So I guess if you do get one of these, don't clip a lot off would be my suggestion.
That wasn't very debonair.
No, it wasn't. I was, I think I was trying to get on a conference call and I just clipped. I didn't pay attention. So
We should have a moment of silence for that one.
I know. I was very disappointed in the cigar, and I think the flavors would be really, really good. Not one you want to age. I don't think this one's going to hold up with a ton of age on it. It didn't have a whole. Well, it's tough to say because the draw was so loose. So. In any case, I bought 2 of these gift sets. Maybe I'll smoke the other one and just clip a tiny bit off and see how it does.
Yeah. Then go slowly
I'll
up
clip it the right way this time. So, Will, we want to talk about our blending, not our, but Manuel's blending seminar that we got coming up, right?
Yes, we do.
So you can go to stogiegeeks.com/blending, and you can register for a blending seminar. You can attend online, or you can attend here in person. Manuel from La Aurora will be coming to Rhode Island to do a blending seminar. And well, tell them what they get with this whole. I don't know if you got the note. Do you have the notes?
Yeah, I do,
Yeah.
actually. So, I mean, this is a really nice package that our sponsor, Havana Cigar Club, put together with La Aurora. Anyone who participates in the seminar, whether it's in person or online, is going to get a Preferito blending kit. It comes in a custom box made for this seminar. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 4 pure grade cigars that you'll smoke during the seminar. So it's basically a pure grade cigar. It features one component. It's one tobacco from the Preferito blend, and there's 4 tobaccos in there plus the wrapper. So you'll get it. In the seminar, you'll get those. You'll smoke 2 of those pure grades. You'll get one Preferito number 3 cigar, which is going to be the final product. Where you'll have the whole thing put together, so you'll get to see the experience of how that goes in. I've gone through these pure grade seminars before, and they're outstanding. You're also going to get one Preferito Churchill. So what that is, that's like it's kind of, they're calling it a barber pole. It's a 7x50, and what it has is it has the 4 pure grade tobaccos in there. But what it is, it's kind of segmented. So you'll see the cigar has different segments on the wrapper, and you'll transition to each of those as well. And then there's a La Aurora lighter and a La Aurora cutter that's part of the package. The other thing is that there's a customer's choice option where Havana Cigar Club is getting Preferitos in the limited Corona size. So not that they're not distributing these Coronas to a lot of stores, mostly on the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. But what you'll do is you'll be able to get Coronas, and there's 6. The Preferito comes with 6 different wrappers. You'll be able to choose any 10 of those and mix and match them as well. So you could order that as well by going to the stogies.com/blending. So we encourage you to definitely check that out if you're either in Rhode Island, or we'll have the live feed. If you purchase that, you'll have access to the live feed on that.
And what is that? What is the cost on that again, Will?
I don't have it in front of me, but I know the blending kit is like $49.99. So it's very reasonable for that.
And Manuel's never done this in the U.S. This is the first time he'll be coming to the U.S. to do this.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah, and it's like I said, I've been through this with Henke Kellner does a similar version of this, and I have the prices in front of me. It's $49 for the blending seminar kit, and if you want that plus the 10 Coronas, it's $128. So whether you attend online or live, Todd is put together a really nice deal. I'm telling you, those Coronas, that's a really good price you're getting on top of that. So it's a good deal.
Is that to say that you're going to taste these individual puros and then create your own blend, and they're going to roll it for you? Is that right?
No. So you'll get to taste the individual components of the blend.
Oh, I see.
And then with the kit, you get the already blended 2 different versions of the already blended.
Oh, to see how they
cigar,
actually
to
melt
see how they
together.
come together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And when you go through pure grades, it's a real interesting process. Pure grades are gonna you'll learn so much about how flavors hit certain parts of the tongue, and you'll kind of get a feel for what those tobaccos are. And then when you smoke the final product, you'll get to see what that's like. And then the idea of going through that segmented cigar with the 6 different wrappers is, I think, amazing, because I've been through, Jose Blanco does something like that, and that's another experience, how radical it changes. The wrapper could just change that flavor.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's on the website. That's on StogieGeeks.com?
StogieGeeks.com/blending.
Blending.
Yep.
We'll take you to the page where you can register for that. And that'll be Saturday, December 6th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Yep, so it'll be a 3-hour thing, and we will have, I think, when you order the online, I believe we'll be providing you a link.
Yep, and we'll mail you the cigars. So if you want to do it virtually, you'll be able to attend and smoke smoke along with what Manuel is doing, and follow along and smoke all your cigars. Smoke your puritos. Is that how you say that?
They call them pure grades, but they're puritos.
Puritos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to log in and
It's
sign
really
up right
cool.
now.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm super excited about that. So, yeah, my wife saw that on my calendar, and she's like, "What are you doing? A blending seminar?" I'm like, "Don't." She's like,
So baby, I love you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
So
she's
it's
like,
all-
whatever. It's like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Todd's put a really good package together with this. And like I said, this is open to our whole audience to participate here. So this is a good opportunity.
Very
Excellent.
Cool. Very cool.
I think that that rounds out the show for us tonight, Will, unless you got anything else.
One more big note. So no show next Thursday. But Friday is our big third anniversary show.
No show? Oh, Friday. Friday's
It'll
the
be
show.
Friday.
What am I going to do Thursday night then?
And
Watch football?
Yes,
No.
watch football and smoke cigars.
I will be up in Rhode Island doing that. And we have we're going to go on the air at 10 a.m. I think we're going all afternoon. So we're going to have guests. We're going to have cigars we'll be smoking. We'll have some giveaways, I'm sure. And I guess I'll say it, Stogie Santa will probably be making an appearance at this. So
he'll probably maybe be making an appearance.
You know, I had a celebrity moment with Stogie Santa. I was at a IPCPR. My friend Raul, who owns a Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, invited me to come to the Ashton dinner. Mm-hmm. And Stogie Santa was sitting at the table next to us. And I was like, oh, that's Stogie Santa. I didn't really go up to him because I was kind of, a little bit low. I don't want to. He looks like he's having a good time. I don't want to be a fanboy. And
which means he was consuming some cocktails.
Yeah, he was definitely consuming cocktails.
That was Stogie Santa a good time, yes.
But, no, we have some good guests. Nick Malello is going to be on. Phil Zengi will be on. We'll have Robbie Streitz from AJ Fernandez on. We have more guests, Paul Doyle. So it should be Victor Vitale. So we have a pretty good show. You can check out StogieGeeks.com. We have a post out there, and we'll be updating it throughout the week. I'm sure as some things change.
And you're starting at 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
Until 11 p.m.? Or
let's hope not. That's a lot.
No, I think we're
ending at like 5
all
or 6.
afternoon.
Yeah.
I think we're going till 5 or 6.
Oh, but a full day of programming. That's excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's a reason we're doing that. We are trying to raise awareness for cigar rights, and Glenn Luke will be on as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, we definitely need more people to sign up for that. And
yeah, we're looking for everyone to really stand up on this. We want to create some awareness on this. But I will be in the studio, so I'm really looking forward to getting back up there. It's been about 6 months.
For sure. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this edition of the Stogie Geek Show. Of course, thanks to Will for joining us from North Carolina. Thanks to Jay from Spro Coffee.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Will, for having me. It's been
Bring
great.
your coffee and some Fratello cigars. Fratello Coffee and Cigars. It was fabulous. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see everyone next Friday. Tune in. Thanks everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.